Welcome to another edition of In Conversation here on RockShowCritique.com. Today's guest is Mr. Donnie Vie. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. All right. So what we want to do today is just kind of talk some things here. Talk about some of the Enuff Z'Nuff stuff, and then talk about your new stuff and all the different projects you got going on. So let's start with the most recent here. Give us a rundown on what you're up to and what you're planning on doing, probably for now until the end of the year, what the actual plan is.
Well, plans and me are things that don't usually go in tandem, but right now the plan is in releasing a box set of all my solo stuff, releasing that in July, and I do believe there's a Enuff Z'Nuff box set coming out next month or something, which is all unreleased shit, demos and stuff that Chip and I did in the earlier years. So there's Enuff Z'Nuff one coming out, and then there's a Donnie Vie one coming out. With the new one's got the new single and the new video and everything. And if you the pre-sales, the people that buy the first 50 pre-sales of the what is it? It's a flash drive. It's got everything I've ever done on it. And that's there's like a private pre-viewing and listening sort of party on, like we're doing right here, but like I'll do a little performance and we'll sit and hang out with everybody, a live interaction and shit like that. So
now these box sets, what kind of formats are they going to be released on?
well, my plan right now, and I think I'm going to at least to begin with and see how it goes, is flash drive with all of the artwork and everything included on it, videos, fucking everything.
Okay, good. That's awesome. Can't wait to hear some of that stuff.
you gotta see how it goes before you don't want go printing up CDs and shit like that. It costs money, and you don't want to be sitting on a bunch of CDs and shit. And like I'm sitting on 545 singles of this next song I'm getting ready to put out, because I bought out of my deal at my label, and I recut a whole new version of it. So we actually have a vinyl copy sitting on 500 of them that I can't release or sell until after the video comes out in the new version. So we got that. T-shirts and bullshit like that.
All right. Well, let's start back now that we know what's going on right now. Let's go back to the beginning. Get some interesting stuff I bet you could say about this. Tell us how you guys got signed to Atco all the way back there in the beginning.
Well, we were showcasing for a bunch of labels at that time. We showcased a couple times with a different lineup before Derek was in the band, and then we got him. And the best deal that was offered to us was with Atco. It was they were just coming back into business because they were a big 70s label, but they kind of went to sleep for a while, and they were just coming back, being a pretty decent sized label. And we were one of their cornerstones to that, and I liked the idea of that. And we had a lot of freedom and creative control, and it was our first record, so it was a very exciting time. All the videos and starting the touring and shit on the radio and stuff. That was very cool.
All right, so you released 2 albums on Atco, the first one obviously, and then Strength. Seems like Strength, there was some, I don't understand why that album wasn't received much better. It seemed like it was a much stronger album as far as so much variety on it and everything. Is that kind of when everything went sour with the record company?
Yeah, it did come out strong. It was received well too, but after the first record, when they didn't tell us what was going down after they pulled the first record, we were after 2 videos, we're going home from the tour, and we didn't know what was going on. They said it's time to make another record. And we're like, well, I think there's more singles on this record, but we didn't know what was going on, that they were merging with East West, and all the record companies were all fucked up and going in chaotic directions and shit. And we were marketed wrong to begin with and shit. So when you're bringing in the grunge and shit like that, but basically we had an 8-record deal, like a $12 million 8-record deal, and we basically were informed that they'll be sitting on a shelf, the rest of these records, because they're not going with our not using our format or anything anymore. And as I said, like the switch of the labels and stuff. Plus, I was a little difficult to deal with in those days as well, as was the party business, not the music business. But yeah, that's what happened with the Strength record. They just pulled the funding and the support on it, and the touring support and everything, and it was so it was hot. We were geared up to be pretty big at that point, and but it was well received. The record, Rolling Stone, everything liked it.
Oh
Billboard was
yeah.
digging it. It's just when you got a major label like that, and they're like a factory, and when they discontinue your model, you know what I mean? It's you just sell what you got left out there, and that's it. But we got out of there. They had to file a bankruptcy to get out of that shit.
Wow. So from there, you guys ended up going to another big label, Arista.
Yeah, with Clive Davis. Well, we had a few options for that. We were approached by them, Clive Davis and Arista. We were approached by Geffen with Klogner, who that would have been the smart move, and I think Capitol as well. And Klogner's pitch wasn't exactly what we wanted to hear. It was a good deal, and but we thought we already had our next record ready to record. We figured we got the songs. We want to get back out there because we don't want to be sitting around. He was like, no, we're breaking the band all the way down back to the foundation and building it up the right way, and like he did with Aerosmith and shit like that. And that didn't sound as good as Clive Davis with his $500,000 and cranking the fucking demos we got already and saying, this is great. I love this. It's gonna be big. And and that just sounded better to the rock band people in my band. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
I
definitely.
could have done, the adult contemporary, but that would have been no fun.
Now you guys ended up only making one album with them,
Yeah,
so it
yeah, that
didn't.
was it. They weren't really interested in the band. They had no way to market the band. They didn't have a rock department. What he was interested in was a song called Innocence, and which is basically why he signed it, for Innocence. And then he asked me to write another power ballad. I wrote another song called Right by Your Side. So those were the only songs he was interested in. And the same thing was happening over there, is what was happening in the whole business and stuff. And especially for these guys who are basically all they put out is shit like Whitney Houston and adult contemporary shit, and they have no rock department whatsoever. I mean, they didn't even have a rock department for us to work with. I mean, there just wasn't one to go to rock radio and stuff like that. And we were a rock band, so yeah, we got out of that one pretty easily.
Yeah. Well, it's a shame. And then from there, you pretty much, I don't know where you went to after that.
Palookaville.
Uh,
Palookaville, and I'm still trying to find a train that leaves out of here.
Yeah, yeah, these record companies, it's like you guys came in at the right time, but then the rug got pulled out from under you.
It was like I said, there's nothing when there was no planning or any energy was put into the marketability and the look of the band, the presentation, everything. And once we had put Vic and Derek in the band, it was they had an obvious look of what was happening at that time. And like you can't foresee that stuff, but my instincts were telling me that all of that stuff wasn't necessarily the vision that I've had for myself as an artist, was going into, hair metal and shit like that, which I still cringe when I'm referred to, and I always refer to it. Most of these podcasts I do are like hair metal this, hair metal that. But yeah, so that was, I forgot the question.
No, you were just mentioning how you were in Palookaville there, so
Yeah, there was just kept making records,
yep.
just making them for smaller labels as we went along. You know what I mean? And indies became popular then at that time because a lot of those grunge bands, they were on indies before, so they got some credibility with the indies. So we went with a couple of those, and they just weren't successful relationships. They don't pay any money. They don't do any of the things they say they're going to do. They're not out there pushing the records and shit. So it's basically just our loyal fan base who would go find us in the dark, you know what I mean? And just buying this stuff. And so there's no reason to be on, we just did those just for the guys to print the plastic and actually literally make the CD, So that's why we did those, and just kept going one after another. But they're all great records.
Oh yeah. Definitely. So like I'm gonna mention a few songs from the catalog. I want to ask you about like I feel these songs are some of the ones that should have been huge, but obviously right now they're just considered gems because, like you said, the record companies just didn't promote them like they should have. Let's start off with one you just mentioned, "Right by Your Side." That's definitely one of the most catchiest songs that you guys ever recorded, from my opinion. There.
Thank you. That was after the meeting with Clive and we signed the deal and everything. He kind of pulled me aside and asked me, "Hey, do you think you could write me another power ballad for this record?" You know, because and at that time I still didn't understand what was going down. That was just his plan, was that kind of shit. And we were leaving it, and I got on a plane to go back to Chicago that evening and wrote that song on the plane on the way home back to Chicago. And I got home and I demoed it and I sent it to him the next day. And he was like, "Jesus Christ." He goes, "It's the perfect song." He goes, "That was fast." I said, "Gee, all you got to do is ask."
Yeah, it's that one's definitely you figured that one would have done a lot better. Obviously, I don't know if
Yeah,
Arista released any singles other
they
than
did. They released that as a single.
was one. Okay.
That was the first one with the video, and then the next one, and I do believe "Baby Loves You." Oh, and that was a different record.
Uh,
The next one was going to be "Innocence," but
Innocence.
at that point, that's where they kind of reached the point where they realized that I'm not going to be a solo artist and sit at the piano and do adult contemporary, and they're basically, like there wasn't any success at rock radio because they had no, all labels have a guy or a team that go to the stations, and they have relationships and stuff. Hey, here's what you've got to play now, and shit like that, and they get played. And they didn't have that for rock radio over there at all. So the stations that they did, the markets that they did have and stuff like that, those weren't, that's Whitney Houston and fucking Elton John, shit like that. They're not interested in Enuff Z'Nuff, hair metal band. So
Yeah. Well, you just mentioned another one I was going to talk to you about. This one I didn't notice. We were told the other day when we were talking to Chip about it a little bit, how this one actually was from left over from the first album, "Baby Loves You."
that was actually left over from before our first record.
Hmm.
Chip and I used to bang out a lot of songs in the early days. I mean, just getting, I was just cutting my teeth, just learning how to write songs and recording. He's kind of fast tracking me through that. But that was one of like New Thing, "Baby Loves You," and there was another one that we never released called "Girl Crazy." We demoed those all in the same day, and we've always had those. But the writing, I felt personally, got a lot stronger than "Baby." I don't appreciate "Baby Loves You" as much as a fan would appreciate it, because to me it's ABCs. You know what I mean? It's Sesame Street of what I how I write songs and stuff. But I can appreciate it now that but we played it live, but we never put it on any records. And I don't know why. I guess I kind of wasn't that hip to it. But New Thing, we had that for a while too before our deal, and we didn't play that one live because that it's hard to sing when you got to sing backups and the lead vocals on that song. But yeah, it was just, there was a lot of them that seen later days.
Yeah, you just going back to New Thing real quick. I wasn't going to bring that one up, but you mentioned what you just mentioned about the. I read that somewhere. You were talking about that one time with the background vocals. Now, I guess you ended up figuring out a way to better perform it live after all these years.
I just got stronger out on the road, and just my voice just got stronger and shit. And so I just belted it out, you know what I mean? And if you're familiar with the song, it's like da 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 da
Yep.
da 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 da, and then there's no break. It's just right into the chorus, right into the chorus. We only had two of us singing at that time. It was just Chip singing harmonies and me doing lead vocals and backgrounds at the same time. I'd have to sing my line and then do the background line with him too. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, then sing with that line again, then go to my verse lines. And so it was a struggle, but you get stronger when you're out there, like with any muscles, that once you're using them and stuff like that. So it's not an issue anymore.
Was there a time when you didn't play it as often because it was a little bit hard to sing?
There was, yeah, for the first probably a year and a half that we were out playing and doing shows and stuff before the record came out, um, I always opted to not do it. You know what I mean? Because it was difficult to sing, and it wasn't a hit then. And I was like, well, why am I going through this? You know, we have all these other songs, and I'd like fans wanted to hear it, so that's why we started doing it. And it was, you know, when you're in my position, you look at things a little differently than perception of something would be, you know, as far as, you know, physically or whatever, you know, as far as integrity wise, or, you know, I mean, but I've learned to appreciate that shit. I was kind of an arrogant little bastard at that time, and really writing like the things that I would be excited about are the latest things that I'd done, you know what I mean? And when you got stuff that's been around a while and you're writing something new that I think is better, that's what I want to go with. That's what my energy goes into, you know? And so,
Well, you do go back and look at the catalog from time to time and go, man, that one, do you think differently on some of them from as time goes on?
yeah, I've learned to, when I stop looking at it from me as an artist's point of view, and start looking at it for what it is, what the song is the perception and what the fans and the listeners think of you know the songs. And you know, I was a little self-indulgent for a point, but yeah, when I'm writing as many songs as I write, you know,
Yeah.
and churning them out, it's like I got 13 Enuff Z'Nuff records out, and 5 studio release solo records, and then there's like 11 other ones of different demos and different various little releases and stuff. So there's a lot of records, a lot of songs, and I've got a lot more.
Now, let's go back. Let's see. The next one I had was Has Jesus Closed His Eyes?
Oh yeah,
How,
that was.
how
I
did that one
remember
come?
I liked that one a lot. I liked the melody and the chord structures to that, and I thought it was a little bit cheesy with the going, you know, the whole crusader type lyrics and stuff like that. We need to do this. We need love. And we got to this and that. I felt that was might have been a little cheesy, but I didn't care anymore by that point. And I thought it made a decent statement. I always liked the melody to it, and that was one I think that I pushed for live, and we did do that live a lot. It's a good message. Yeah, anything is you mentioned Jesus and you got to win, you know, unless it's negative.
Exactly. This one, I actually talked to you about this one time before. Someday. Tell us about that gem.
That is that I kind of wrote sort of to myself at that time, because there was songs that I would write with the perspective of what I'm going through, of what I would be want to tell, what I would want someone telling me, you know what I mean? And like giving myself advice and a pep talk and stuff like that. And my hopes would be that somebody else could relate to what I was saying, you know what I mean? So just like like somebody that hears it and relates to it, all of a sudden they don't feel alone in those feelings and thoughts and stuff, just like me, you know. And that's basically why I do everything is for the fans, you know what I mean, and for the people that are going to listen to it. And if I can make something positive out of the terribly negative shit that I'm going through, then that's a win, you know.
Definitely.
And
All right. There goes my heart.
that one basically almost wrote itself once I had the Hello Monday, Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday. This is the next thing just wrote it. The rest of it wrote itself. I wrote that. I was hiding out in the bathroom at a High Times party for High Times magazine. We were hanging with all those guys, and there was a big party at the guy's house, and I was hiding because they were all huge pot smokers. Well, I was a known cokehead, you know what I mean? And so that's where I was kind of like feeling a little uncomfortable. I didn't know what to talk about with these guys and stuff, and they're all hippies, and it's right up Chip's alley. So you know, I would the bathrooms where a lot of things get written and stuff, you know, and I just go off and sneak off into there with the guitar and shit, and wrote that in probably about 5 minutes.
You can definitely hear that Beatles influence in that one for
Yeah, it
sure.
was cool. Once you get like the riff, like the down, da down, da down, then they start to flow. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, and then the last one I'm going to ask you about is actually not an Enough's Enough song. It's actually Better Days.
Oh, that's on my first solo record.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those. Good time songs, you know what I mean? It's the summer, roll the windows down in the car, talk about the Chevy and stuff. And it's like, hey, life sucks, but I'm all right. You know what I mean? Life sucks, but that's the way it is.
Yeah. Yep. That's one of those ones that probably could have played last year as a theme song for 2020.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, I put one out that kind of worked for that. Although the label I was on sucked so badly that no one even really even knew it came out. But there's a song called "All My Favorite Things," and was the flip side to the party time that we are getting ready to release. And that one, I wrote that when I just got out of the hospital. It's about having. Are you going to give up all your favorite things to do just so you can live longer, or you want to live on life's terms? And at that same time, with the pandemic, it was a universal application. You know what I mean? Are you going to be scared? Are you going to want to go out to clubs? You're going to hang out, or are you going to be scared and stay home and quit doing everything you do? And so it applied to everybody. To fortunately, I can still release that one because I don't think anybody I don't even think my mother got that one.
All right, so now we're done with that. What I just want to know if there was any songs that you felt strongly about that you thought, man, that should be easily a top 40 hit or something like that. Did you ever have any that you thought that were really strong, felt strongly about?
I felt that if somebody loved whatever they heard that I wrote or that we did, then I thought the rest of them were pretty good. The rest, if you like the one, you're gonna like them all. And so you quit thinking about what's a hit and what's not a hit. That's I never got in this business to be a rich and famous rock star. I got into to be an artist is what I wanted to be, and to affect people the way they hear stuff, and to have what I did affect somebody like say the Beatles or Led Zeppelin affected me growing up listening to it. You know what I mean? That had that kind of, and to be in that caliber, that league, and that's what and I've been told that I've achieved that.
All right, well, got a good question here for you. Let's see if so basically, obviously over the years, the music business has drastically changed in many aspects. But
Yeah, yeah, it disappeared.
yeah.
It's obsolete.
But looking back at everything, what is the one thing that you just really like the most about it?
About the music business.
Yeah.
Um, Probably the effect that you're able to have on the fans and the listeners, and the love and energy that I get from them coming back at me, and to let me know that that has affected them and has meaning to it. That, and I don't know, you get a lot of girls. It's not really no money to be made. It's pretty fun lifestyle though when things are happening. It's just a big party for you anywhere you go. That was my priority to over being rich and famous.
All right, so basically, you guys ended up going on the Poison tour, Glam Slam Metal Jam. How did it go overall for you, the tour? Were you happy with it? How was it like playing in front of the big crowds again at that point?
It was great. When you're on a bill like that, you're playing to 20,000 people a night, and that was a good tour. Plus, you're playing the big theaters. It's really a lax, more comfortable situation when you don't that you're not in a club and all that fucking nitty gritty and all that hustle and shit. When it's comfortable, it's relaxing. It was in front of a lot of people that we get along great with the bands. They took us basically out to because they liked us. You know what I mean, and so we had a lot of fun out there. And after that was the last tour I did with Enuff Z'Nuff until I came back at I think 2007 or eight for a little while.
Yeah,
But
I
I
mean,
was pretty fucked up on that tour, man. I was on everything. I got down to 135 pounds. That was the beginning of the end. It got pretty bad, and that was the epitome of drug wise where I got to. But it was fun.
now did you for that tour when you guys got off the tour and that's about when you decided you needed to step back then at that point?
I couldn't have gone on any further. I couldn't make it anymore. Another tour, I would have come home in a bag. There just was no way to do it. And so, I tried to explain that to Chip, and it was a good time to take some time off anyway, because we'd just been out there pounding it and pounding it and pounding it for all those years. And it's oversaturating and the shows are getting, less and, it was time to take a break and get my health together and let some time go by where people would appreciate the band again, come back out in a few years with a nice strong record and stuff. And, just I'll still be vertical. You know what I mean? I thought that, but Chip, I'd like to, I confuses motion for progress. He likes to be out there all the time. He loves just to hang out with fans and stuff like that, and just be out where, even if he is not making a penny, he likes to just be out there doing that stuff. And my job, it's plus with my substance issues I had, or that, you're once an addict, always an addict. It's just putting myself in that vulnerable position for really not much of a reason to be doing it. You know what I mean? So doing that for no reason, I thought was stupid. And that's when he got somebody else. I guess the guitar player started singing. I keep forgetting the question though. I'm such a windbag.
Oh no, you're fine. What I was going to ask about that tour, the one thing I noticed, and I know I know a lot of people that were really you guys, because of the grunge thing, that's 99 was kind of like where the rock kind of came back, kind of, with the Poison tour. 2001 was when you guys went out. So it finally, you had a couple of albums that came out, Paraphernalia and 10, and it seems like things were starting to make a good comeback. And I think that tour really helped you guys gain a lot more fans. But like you said, then, it came to a point where you just had to take a break. It was such a shame because that tour, I mean, I know I personally became a fan of you guys on that tour. I really weren't quite familiar with you guys at that point too much because you never really came around our area and, never really got to see you guys. So I think that tour definitely guys gained a lot more fans for sure.
I gained a wife from that tour, and that wasn't a very successful situation. I met my wife on that tour, but that led into 6 years of hell. And I was out of the band at that same time. But yeah, we've done a lot of big shows. We played a lot of arenas and stuff. It's just there's only been a few where we were on whole tours and things like that. But had things all gone a different direction with the label, the original first record and stuff, we'd have probably been headlining one of our own by the next year. We were already headlining theaters and shit like that by then.
And you guys, obviously, you and Chip have been doing a lot of things, more recently compared to what you were in the past. So my question is, have you guys ever talked about possibly doing like, I know Cheap Trick has a thing where they do like a weekend sometimes where they, get a small hall and they have like a 3 day 3 days worth of shows where they like do like a regular set, they'll do like an acoustic set or an
Right.
all whatever have you. And I think something like that, maybe something like small like that down the road some year may
We
maybe.
got a few things in the works right now that we're talking about. Plus, I got him playing on all my new stuff, because once he plays on it, it sounds fantastic. It really brings it to life, his bass playing. So
Mhm.
it's kind of there's a lot of semantics involved there, but there was a long period of time there where I had a real big problem with the shit he was pulling. You know what I mean? But we worked some of that stuff out, and as far as anything for the future, that's if there are bridges worth crossing, we'll cross those bridges when we get to them.
Yeah. Now on this up updated this, so you got an album that's going to be coming out or.
No, it's I just decided to unless some kind of miracle from heaven came down and
Mhm.
some major label wanted to, I just decided that doing recording full records is just it's too expensive. You know, you really don't get the mileage out of them that you did in the old days. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
uh, you know, like the last record I made, Beautiful Things. You know, that thing that cost. You know, we made it considerably cheaper than, because in the old days you're talking $250,000 a record. You know, to make one now 20 grand is pretty expensive, especially when it's all coming out of my pocket. You know what I mean? To make a record and stuff, and to do a whole record, it's very strenuous. And there's a lot goes on, you know, a lot of pressure and a lot of money it costs, and for to get the same rounds as you do with one single. You know what I mean? As far as going around with advertisement, promotion, and shit like that, and if you do a single at a time, I'm kind of not pigeonholed into it, like having to fit the style of that record and things like that. You know what I mean? I got a lot more freedom of what I release, and because I write all different styles. You know, I write heavy shit, I write poppier stuff, you know, anything, and to be able to release all of that's a big problem with Enuff Z'Nuff. It's impossible to market us. You didn't know who to put us with on tours. It was, you know, is in the middle of the road there with the heavy and the light. But I like to be able to have that freedom that, you know, like the next song I put out is heavy as fuck, and then the one after that would be a, pretty basic pop song and shit, country song, whatever I come up with, you know, and it's cheaper.
Yeah, it seems to be the way some people are actually tending to go nowadays. Like you said, it's just so expensive to make an album, and
Nobody buys them either anymore.
yeah,
One guy buys it, it's on fucking YouTube, and it's people just listen to it on there. You know, nobody wants to pay musicians anymore. They don't want to pay artists to give them the music that they want. Think everybody's supposed to work for free. You know what I mean? And that's a lot of work to do for free when nobody's going to support you. And so it's not really my advice for young people nowadays would be just steer clear of this whole fucking thing. Just steer, plan B, make plan B, plan A.
exactly. Yeah, like you said, what can you do? It's just
I
crazy.
don't, I don't see any resurrection or any
No.
capabilities of any of that. Everything's gone, radio's gone, all that shit's gone. So you're never going to have any more, rock stars like you used to have, and except the ones that are still alive, like the Stones or somebody like that. That's never going to happen again, because it's just the way that it's all structured now. And there's just, it's basically factories now. They just replaced the face. They got the same people writing everybody's songs, same people producing everybody's stuff, and different face and stuff. And you get some artists that are lucky with, like Taylor Swift is a great artist, and she'll have a career, is till the end of time. She also can apply her sound and her style to whatever's happening at the time, production wise and shit. But I don't see rock and roll making a comeback, unfortunately.
Yeah, like you said, it's a whole different ball and game out there nowadays. It's just crazy.
Nothing I ever envisioned wanting to be a part of. Not anymore. It's the same thing with any art, all of the arts, and same thing with everything in the world. It's just all going to shit. You know what I mean? And nobody's doing anything about anything, and just complaining that this is no good anymore and that's no good anymore. And the kids are the ones that are listening to the music nowadays. They don't know any better. They don't know rock. They haven't experienced like a Led Zeppelin or a Beatles or something like that. They don't know any better. They just know, what, here's the next thing that all of my friends like, so I like this now and shit, but they don't buy records either.
No. All right. Well, is there anything that you want to plug? Let us know about before we let you go here.
Basically, just look for me on all different social media platforms, and find out what's going on. And like I said, the box set, or I don't know what you would call it. It's called the Complete Collection. That's coming out, and so you can gear up for that. And then there's one, all the unreleased Enuff Z'Nuff shit is coming out on a box set, or whatever format they're releasing that on. I think that's like next month.
And
So
that's is that through Cleopatra?
yeah, yeah.
And are they going to be doing the whole catalog as well,
They,
remastering it or
they
something?
we did a licensing deal for everything, but the first two records, we don't own those until next year. Again, we don't get those back till next year, but we did a licensing deal for the entire catalog with them, everything excluding those. So they've already released 2 or 3, I forget, but they sold really, really well. So they're happy, you know what I mean? And I'm happy because these records went into obscurity. I can find records of mine like for sale for 120 bucks on eBay and shit like that. You know what I mean? And here I don't have any, otherwise I'd be on there selling the damn things. But yeah, I forgot the question again. But yeah, that's what's going down. And
Yeah.
just keep your eyes peeled. I got a brand new video that's going to be coming out within the collection, and it's pretty fucking cool video. It's pretty funny. People are gonna like it.
All right.
And
Sounds.
with that single, that's gonna be this. There's gonna be a single with the collection. You know, I'll have a single that's to support it.
All right. Well, best of luck with everything that's going to be coming out and everything in your future here. And it was great talking to you.
Thank you very much, and the same to you, sir. Thank you
All
for thinking of me, and I have fans.